Good evening, dear friends. We meet again Sunday, 25th of August, to talk about generational healing. And as you know, the first 10 minutes or so of the talk might be put later on social media like YouTube. So first of all, I'd like us to take a moment together from wherever you are, all the parts of the world, from India, from Lebanon, from Ireland, from Argentina, from Texas, from anywhere that you're joining us tonight, from Germany, to just go in your core for a minute, just to take a minute together in your core and visualize a beautiful blue light that unites us all. And in the sound of unity, the sound of Om, we start our session. So deep breath in, everybody. Good to meet you all. So tonight we're going to talk about generational healing. Generational healing is a very, very important subject. It's a subject that has been at the core of my work, of my strategy to help people to discover who they are and become what I call the true self. So there are several parts to the strategy of becoming your true self. There are 5 pillars. One of them is love, the energy of love. One of them is connecting to nature. One of them is sound healing. One of them is working on repressed emotions. And the one we're working on tonight is generational healing. So this term, generational healing, is a term I created back in 2008, when I finally formed an understanding how certain things are repeating in the family line from generation to generation. After observing that certain diseases, certain emotional traumas seem to all the time be repeating themselves. And I never accepted that things have no solution. I always investigate to know why things are happening. Because indeed, if we can resolve these problems that are recurring from generation to generation, we create lots of abundance and health for many people. And indeed, many people who have worked with me on this path for a year and a half to 2 years have got substantial change in their life in many what would call miraculous kind of changes. We'll talk about it in a second. Good evening, Gwyneth. Good evening, Huda, Brian Soleil, Stan, Trish, Maria, Stephanie, Lucia, and whom else is there at the moment. Thank you all for joining. So there are several levels of generational healing. I'll talk a little bit about all of that, and then I have a few questions that many of you have sent me. Thank you, and I'll answer them one by one. You can do generational healing at the level of trauma. So basically, if a trauma is happening from generation to the other, you can work on it. You can do it also as a disease or a loss, like for example, the great-grandfather had a heart attack at 40 and died. Then the grandfather has a heart attack at 40 and dies. Then the father has a heart attack at 40 and dies. Western medicine will tell you it's genetic, you can do nothing about it. But that's rubbish, yeah? Because how did it start? The first ancestor did not have this heart attack. So how suddenly all these other ancestors are having the heart attack? So my process was to analyze how is it happening, how is the repeat situation, and what can be done about it. The third level, so we said the first level of dealing with generational healing is trauma, repeat trauma from one generation to the other. The second level is repeat disease or loss. So for example, people are dying the same way or losing people close to them the same way or getting a disease the same way. The third level of generational healing is curse. Yeah, so if a family line did something wrong 500 years ago, yeah, the same way we inherit the beautiful feature of our ancestors and the beautiful, intelligence, features, abilities, we will also inherit from our ancestors whatever shortfalls they had. It is normal. There's no reason to make a big deal about it. We all have karma. We all have some kind of curse that needs to be resolved. Does not mean we're bad people or good people. It just means that, this is the law that we have been given, and we need to do the best we can so that we can give our children something better in ourselves. That's all, you know. So many people get excited about this idea of, oh my God, there's a curse in the family line, but there's nothing abnormal about it. Every family has it. Good evening, Chris. Thank you for coming. Rachel, good evening, Fiona. How are you? Thank you for coming. Sonia, good evening. So there is not one family line that has no curse or generational healing that is needed. Now, the people who have stuck with me for a couple of years have noticed that after healing what we call the trauma level, then going to the disease loss level, then going to the curse level, we found that there's a deeper level where something very ancient, something very nasty goes into the family line from generations ago. I cannot describe it better, but saying to you that it's some kind of old legacy energy. I don't know what else to call it. Yeah, it's different from a curse. It's some kind of very old, weird energies that actually interfered into the line that they should not have been there in the first place. So these are the 4 degrees that I have identified so far, working on this subject for the last 21 years. Good evening, Ruthie. Thank you for joining. So how do we deal with those 4 levels? Okay. The first thing you need to know, how did I learn about this? I did not go to a university for generational healing. There is not such a thing. The first thing you need to know is I do have a gift in the sense that when I'm working with people, their field talks to me. So somebody comes in, I can hear something happened to this person, something happened to this family. There was a murder in this line. There was a war in this line. There was abuse in this line. Yeah, it's given to me like that. So this helps me then to put the person on the path to find the clues themselves and resolve it. So I spent 21 years refining this and understanding what is going on. As a child, I was very close to Great Spirit, to the understanding of energy, and I have the gift very strong. And then for 17 years, my gift went sleepy, till actually my disease, when I got the tumor that I had to face and overcome naturally, forced me to get back this gift, forced me to go back to that level. Yeah. So to heal my tumor, I had to do like physical healing, emotional healing, and spiritual healing. Now, the generational healing theme, which is this energies that go from one family line to the other, from one generation to the other, they are involved also with emotions, and they also involve the spirits, but they are very specific to a repeat. Yeah. What I mean by that, you can have some emotional trauma in childhood, which is not necessarily generational healing. You can have a trauma in the family on an emotional basis that is not something actually as a repeat. It's not necessary. We look for very specific things when we look for this repeat thing to catch it. So being on this path since childhood, being on the path of connecting with great spirits, being on the path with connecting with the energy, I was guided to be able to put this method to help as many people as I can. So by now you probably understand that when you perform generational healing, your whole being, your whole soul, your whole persona, your whole spirit can only get closer and closer and closer to the divine white light of wisdom and love that created us. You only get more attuned and attuned and attuned into great spirit. You can only get closer. Yeah. So when you heal at the generational level, the people I have seen over the last 21 years performed miraculous changes. Somebody was born with a leg that was half the thickness of the right leg and could not stand on it, and it healed after 9 months. Somebody had a weak eyesight for 30 years and the eyesight improved. Somebody had multiple sclerosis and could not move without a stick and improved dramatically. I will not say they healed 100%, but I say they had an 80 or 90% change. Dramatic stuff. Call it a miracle, call it whatever you want to call it. This is a proof that our body, our emotion, our spirit are one. If you have a damage in one of these dimensions, you have also a damage in the others. So all is one. You know, we cannot say I have a physical problem, but it has nothing to do with my emotions or my spirit. We cannot say that. That is not true.